Hi guys, here I am wanting to deliver a message to you guys, and I want to share some things with you about what I've been going through these past 23 days. It's been somewhat of a journey, not totally new to me, but different. I mean, I've been dealing with stuff pretty much all my life, really, and being a caregiver is something that I've been like forever. And the first time I had a situation was with my dad. I was 23 when he passed away. Then with my sister, she was 33 when she passed away. Then I had a situation with my son when he was 33. He's still living, but he had a brain tumor. I had to deal with helping with him. Then I had my brother. He had a stroke back in 2016. So I would say on February the 22nd, this was on a Saturday, I had just completed about 4 big events. I get a phone call early in the morning from my mom telling me that she was having problems with her right arm. No, I'm sorry, her right leg. And after talking to her a few times, found out that she was also having trouble with her right arm. So when she said that, immediately I thought she had a stroke. So I called the ambulance and I went to her house and I followed the ambulance to the hospital. So when we got her there, they did a CT scan and they could tell that she had a stroke. Well, they did an MRI and they really validated that's exactly what it was. So she spent 18 days in the hospital. So that meant going over to the hospital twice a day, most times, sometimes once a day, as she was in there longer. But for the first week, I know I was going twice a day. It was really hard, but I need to be there so I can find out exactly what was going on with her. Well, I told them my mom has always lived alone, and she's lived alone for a very long time. She was doing treatments there, therapy, and based on what I told them, since she was going to live alone, they were really, really trying to work with her so that she can continue to live alone. At the beginning, when she first had the stroke, I decided, let me start looking at nursing homes. That's the first thing that came to my mind. But then as they kept saying she was improving, I thought, let me go look for a senior apartment. So I really started looking for senior apartments. I even went and submitted the application, got her apartment, and just waiting on a phone call, which I know she's going to get it. Well, once they released her, I picked her up, brought her home, thought I'd leave her here at my house just until she get their new apartment, because where she lived, it just wasn't the best place. So I went and bought a little futon for her to sleep on, because I have 3 levels at my house. I already know that she was not going to be able to stay here with the stairs, so I bought this little futon so she could sleep on that. That wasn't the best thing, but that's all I could do at the time. But when I got her home, carried her to the bathroom, I noticed that she had an accident. And I said, Mom, you had an accident, you wearing a diaper. She said, I know, but I didn't want to tell you. Oh, my heart just sank when she said that, because I had no idea. So that night when she went to bed, the next day, when I got her up to use the restroom, I mean, she had a big accident this time, big accident. So I had to help her with her clothes, get her clothes off, get her cleaned up. And I knew immediately, okay, I got to start looking at a nursing home. There's no way that I can, with my 2 jobs, be able to take care of Mama and also work and also take care of my brother and my nephew. I have a daughter in college. There's no way I could do that and work my business. No way I could do all that. So I started looking, and I reached out there on Facebook and started asking questions. And somebody gave me a name of a lady that I reached out to, and she sent me email list of all these nursing homes. So I decided to start calling all these nursing homes to find out what I need to do to get Mama set up in one. And there was just one particular lady that was really, really helpful. The other ones were, so-so. But it's one particular lady that was really helpful when I explained it to her. She said, what I'm going to have, she said 3 years of bank statements. I'm going to have an application completed. I'm going to have proof of income, her insurance card, ID, and things like that. So I got all that ready, went to my computer and printed all of that stuff off. And she said, one last thing we need is a referral. Well, Mama didn't have a private physician because Mama didn't go to the doctor prior to the stroke. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. Well, as I could see Mama steadily declining, her health was steadily declining, because we were having to tell her when it was time to take her to the restroom. So like at first it was every 2 hours that we asked her. Then it went to every hour. I said, now maybe mama's had another stroke because, she's having a hard time holding her bodily fluid. So I decided the next day that I was going to take her back to the emergency room. But that night before, to keep her from having another accident, I decided to set my alarm clock to wake me up every 2 hours to wake her up so I can make sure she didn't have a big accident. So I did that. That wore me out. So the next morning, I woke up and I gave her breakfast, and she was sitting there. She never tells me that she used to use the restroom. So I got her, took her to the bathroom. Sure, she had another accident. So I had to get her cleaned up, get her a shower, and she can't stand in the shower, so I had to put like a stool in there for her to sit on to give her a shower. I had to pretty much get in there with her to give her a shower. So I decided to take her to the hospital, and I was driving up to the hospital that she was in the first time. And I called one of my customers. I was really returning her phone call. Called my customer. She said, don't take her back there. Take her back to the other take her to another location. And I did that. Got over there. Much better experience. Got a chance to talk to several different people that really helped her. But let me back up. The first hospital, what I did, I left a room spray in her room. And I left a few catalogs in the room. So she told me that one of the nurses came in there and just sprayed the room spray. So mama said, get a catalog over there. My daughter's information is on there. My mom told her, get a catalog. So the nurse was able to get the catalog so she could kind of go through it. And when I got there, she said, I want to place an order. All I did was just leave the stuff there. That was the first hospital. So once I got over to the second hospital, started talking to the nurses and the doctors to find out what is it that they could do to help me with mama. Because I really, really needed them to give me a referral to go to the new nursing home. So after staying there all day, we got there like 11 o'clock that morning. I didn't get home almost 11 o'clock that night. I was worn out. So I got there the next morning, I guess around 9 o'clock in the morning. So I had a chance to talk to the nurse, the physical therapist, the occupational therapist, the social worker, and the doctor. So I stayed there until I talked to all of them. I went to lunch, grabbed something, came right back, ate in the room. And shortly after that, another doctor came in, and they were saying, we're just going to go ahead and discharge your mom. And when the social worker came in, I gave him the name of the place where I wanted mama to go. He said, well, do you have a backup place just in case this place doesn't have a bed? I said, no, these people were super nice. I want to go with them. So I had to complete all that paperwork. And sure enough, they got mama in the nursing home just like that. So I drove her over there, dropped her off. Toughest thing I've ever had to do in my life, because with the coronavirus being out there, they will not allow anybody into the nursing home. So I had to drop mama off at the doorway. Broke my heart. And so I dropped her off with what she had on. We didn't have any extra clothes or anything. So I had to go buy her a few things that night. So the next day, I spent 7 hours labeling my mom's things. I went to the store, bought cloth, put her name on it in Sharpie, and I sewed it in her clothes. I even sewed it on her socks. So let me back up. When she was at the hospital, I took the blueberry cheesecake spray and I squirted it in the room. So each time the nurses would come in, they thought, oh my gosh, that smells so good. And one of the nurses got a catalog. She said, I'm going to take this catalog and I'm going to show it around here at the hospital. I decided to go live with mama because the whole entire time I was in the hospital with mama, I always went live with her so that people could see how she was doing. And this last time I went live with her at the hospital, I let her see the blueberry cheesecake room spray. She said, oh, that's blueberry cheesecake. So she decided on her own to take the cap off, and she started spraying it. She said, oh, I like the way that smells. That's on the live video. I like the way that smells. So yeah, so she fell in love with the blueberry cheesecake room spray, and everybody kept making comments about it. So after I dropped her off at the nursing home, I felt some kind of way. Oh my gosh, I felt some kind of way. I mean, it was like a stab in the heart, because my mom and I really created a little bond, because I didn't have one prior to that, because my mom left me when I was 7 years old, And she was perfectly fine until this stroke. I even called the first hospital back because I didn't know that my mom was in diapers. They didn't let me know that she was not able to go to the bathroom or on. They didn't tell me this. So I said, how did you guys miss telling me this? I was not even prepared. I didn't even have things here for her. So I was like blown away. Didn't know where to start or anything because my mom has been self-sufficient all these years. Only thing I've been doing for her for maybe the past 14 years is just paying her bills. That's all I did. Pay her bills. I went to the grocery store, but everything else she could do. She could cook. She could clean independently. But after this stroke, it really did her in. I mean, her right side was totally affected. Super weak. She fell a couple of times. It was terrible. She could barely hold a pen in her hand. So all of what I'm saying here is I continue to go live with my mama on Facebook. You know, sometimes when you go out there on Facebook and you don't see anybody liking your post, you barely see a like, you barely see a love, you see crickets, you don't see comments. But after I started sharing the information about my mama, the first time she called me, I made a post out there about my mama having a stroke. When I gotta tell you guys, the response was like overwhelming. The response is so overwhelming, I could barely keep up. People were coming to me, calling me, messaging me, talking about what they can offer, just helping in various ways, whether it was information, whether it's to donate something. One of my friends even brought diapers to the hospital, which was about 40-minute drive from where she lives. She brought the diapers to the hospital. She said, I saw that your mom was having some issues. I got diapers I could bring. So just like that. I mean, I've had customers to reach out and say, I will actually bring you all something to eat. Just let me know. All because I kept putting it out there. I kept putting it out there, letting people know to pray for mama. I did like a hashtag, prayers for mama. And I kept it out there. And I continue to do videos with my mom out there. So people enjoyed it. They enjoyed seeing her progress. And she was pretty much funny and entertaining. But I got to say this, guys. My business never suffered. So I took the mess that I was in and changed it into a message. I delivered a message pretty much. So in other words, I didn't see since it's a burden, because one thing I know, guys, one thing you ought to know, whenever somebody gets sick, here come the bills. Here come those bills, because unexpectedly, I had to buy diapers. I had to buy plastic things to cover things with. I had to buy certain food. I had to buy extra clothes. I had to buy the thing for her to sleep on. I had to buy a lot of stuff. So there was no way I was going to stop working my business, because here come all of the expenses that I was not expecting. All of a sudden, here it is. My mom was fine, walking around, cooking and everything. And all of a sudden, boom, had a stroke, and all that ended. It ended just like that. You know, like the other situations I've dealt with my dad and my sister, my son, I had warning. I got all the warning with their situation. With mama, no warning. Out of nowhere, it just happened. And I mean, for the past several days, people have been coming to my house, picking up their orders, or sending me an inbox saying, what do you have? I just get what you got at your house. They never saw me out there not working my business. So I'm forever putting it out there what I'm going through. And that's pretty much what I'm saying to you guys. So since I've been doing that, I've gained so many more followers. It doesn't matter what I put out there now. I'm getting more interaction on my page. All because I started sharing this journey. For 23 days, I've been sharing mama's journey. Everybody knows mama. Even the nursing home I put her in, I did a video showing the interest of the nursing home. So whenever they let me go in there, I'm going to go live with mama again, because she seemed to like it. Go live with her again. And she loves Scentsy. She's my Scentsy girl these days. So guys, I just wanted to share that with you, because I have actually had this to come out of nowhere, but yet I never stopped working my business. I integrated it with what I was doing, what I was having to deal with mama. I still found ways to insert it in there some kind of way. I was super tired. I was barely getting sleep. I mean, I probably got about 2 hours of sleep a day, if that much, in like a total of 23 days. I rarely slept. It was hard, because ripping and running back and forth because I work another job and also trying to train team members. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I have not been over here like I have in the past. And I kept asking you guys, help each other. And you guys are totally awesome. I'm super, super proud of that. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. Always remember, Scentsy is a blessing. It is not a burden. So if you're going through something, put it out there in the universe, guys. Put it out there. Let people know what you're going through because that's when you're going to get your blessings. That's when people are going to help you. Just like there's no way I could have been able to get my mama in a nursing home in about 23 days. All of this came about because I put it out there and people were reaching out to me, giving me tips, telling me what to do, telling me what to say. I wouldn't have known otherwise. So if you got something you're going through, guys, put it out there. I promise you, they're going to help you with what you're going through. Plus, they're going to help you with your business. So don't be ashamed. Put it out there. Let it be known that you need help. And every time somebody would come to me and say, what can I do? What can I help you with? And I would say to them, if you could share my website link, you're helping me. Even if you don't make a purchase, you're helping me. If you want to buy something, that's great too. But I want you to know you're helping me by just sharing my website link. So guys, don't be afraid to ask for help because if you don't ask, guess what? They're not going to know. So you have to put it out there and ask people for help. So guys, I want you to know I love you and take care. You guys have a great night. Bye.